To the members of the CIT University's Board of Directors and Administrators, University President Engineer Bernard Nicolas Villamor, University Vice President for Administration Mr. John Gregory Scario, Vice President for Academic Affairs Attorney Corazon Evangelista Valencia, High School Principal Dr. Niza Romero, Senior High School Assistant to the Principal Engineer Alona Solis, Senior High School faculty members, staff, families, guests, audiences, and my fellow graduates of Batch 2022, my warmest and earnest greetings. Words cannot express how genuinely honored and grateful I am to deliver this address on behalf of the graduates. 2 years of being in senior high school was definitely not an easy journey, as we encountered lots of hurdles. It's as if you're sailing across the ocean where you may come across rogue waves, sharks, thunderstorms, anything. Looking back on those 2 years felt surreal, which made me ask myself for reassurance up until now. Did I just successfully overcome them? Nevertheless, it's still a fun, meaningful, and marvelous ride. In my address, I'll be emphasizing 2 points that would allow us to reflect on our decisions and actions and would change our perceptions, views, and ways of life for the better. For my first point, success and failure. Back then, my perception of success was defined by achieving something to be liked by many. Due to that, I put extensive effort into winning every contest I entered, getting high grades in class, and always being on top of the academic rankings. I became an overachiever. I won multitudinous contests from an early age, whether they were academic or singing competitions on local to international scenes. I got numerous awards from academics and stayed either first or second in the overall academic ranking since nursery school, not until 6th grade. So what happened? When I was in 6th grade, I was shattered when I knew that I was only the 5th honorable mention in our entire batch, knowing that I was vying for the highest distinction. I got really frustrated. I even reached the point where I didn't want to face anyone, because every time I looked in the mirror, I saw a failure. And I told myself over and over, nobody accepts a loser. Fast forward to senior high school. As I took my first step in senior high school, I viewed myself as a normal student who didn't really think of achieving lots of things, and I only aimed for one thing: to survive senior high school. One of the earliest thoughts formed in my head during those times was that maybe I was now impervious to failures, as my level of concern about obtaining many achievements slowly began to fade. Unexpectedly, my affirmation was averted due to an adversity I didn't anticipate. We lost our internet connection for almost 3 weeks. My stress level and vexation skyrocketed, thinking that I had numerous unfinished tasks waiting in line. In spite of that, there's a flickering hope in my inner self. I used that hope to give me strength in complying with my academic responsibilities. Unfortunately, I didn't resist the adversity. I submitted 6 tasks beyond the deadline, and I got a failing score on a quiz on one of our major subjects. Well, nasa gamay nga sa laang akong pagsigigram o procrastinate, pero slight result. Due to that, napakanta na lang ko, I did my best, but I guess my best wasn't good enough. So, yeah. After a couple of days, I didn't expect to feel fulfilled. And that's because instead of being distressed, I wholeheartedly accepted those failures and my past failures as part of the many imperfections of life. Success is not about obtaining fame, awards, high social status, or whatsoever. Rather, it is about obtaining something that makes us feel fulfilled. Never aim for success like competing with other people's successes. as it is your own game, wherein one of your challengers is yourself. Never seek accomplishments for the sake of having others admire or be proud of you. This is not true happiness. True happiness comes from accomplishing something because you desired it for yourself. Not selfishly, but out of fulfillment. Failure, on the other hand, is not a barrier to success. Even if it sounds cliche, it is a fact and a reminder that failures are non-permanent roadblocks in our lives. Let us not allow our shortcomings and mistakes to hamper our progress towards our goals. Rather, accept and utilize them as instruments for self-growth. As the Japanese kotowaza implies, nana karobiyoki, which means fall down 7 times, stand up 8. And for my final point, finding your motivation. Our motivation is one of the special things that pushes us to be persistent in achieving our goals. However, there are people who are still unable to find their motivation, just like me a few years ago. My decision to become an accountancy, business, and management student wasn't actually a firm decision due to my ignorance of the strand. The only thing I had in mind as to why I wanted to pursue ABM was that I wanted to become a certified public accountant. Well, I did some rough research about ABM and my desired profession before enrolling myself under the aforesaid strand, yet, in all honesty, it was still a tremendous question mark as to why my first choice is ABM. When I encountered my first accounting subject, I got overwhelmed by how mentally demanding and innovating the subject was, and I kept on reminding myself that the lessons in it were just the basics. Day after day, I started to lose my grip on my desired profession. I even thought of shifting to the STEM strand, but I didn't let go of my ABM journey. Matatag kunuhay, pero kaundangon na diay. One day, as I was listening to some songs while studying for my accounting lessons, at that moment I was exhausted and motivated for the reason that I didn't understand roughly 80% of the lessons. All of a sudden, Miley Cyrus's The Climb played on shuffle, and this line stood out in particular. Keep on moving, keep climbing, keep the faith. After hearing that line, I asked myself, what is that thing that will keep me moving and climbing? Then I remembered CPA, the thing that brought me to the ABM strand. Subsequently, I searched for accountancy in Google to seek answers if accountancy is really for me. After an hour of searching, I finally got enough answers. Accountancy is really what I want. Starting then, that tremendous question mark transformed to a burning flame of motivation to study and continue my ABM journey. I still encountered difficulties, but at least my undying motivation made them all go away. Also, due to that motivation, I took my studies seriously, not to obtain high grades, but to comprehend and love accounting. That's why I felt sad whenever I made mistakes, not because of the numbers, but because if that scenario happened in the real business setting, it would definitely be a huge scandal. Special thanks to Miss Tiffany Grace Ui's philosophy on studying as I got inspired and influenced by it. Finding your motivation is literally finding your purpose to continue what you have started. It does not always come with staying positive all throughout due to a number of unforeseen circumstances. Rather, it can be achieved through self-talk and reflection. Just like walking towards your goals, finding our motivation is a process. Hence, we must be patient enough in seeking our motivation in everything we do. So, that would be all for my points. But before I officially end my address, allow me to take this moment on behalf of the graduates of Batch 2022 to express our heartfelt gratitude to the people who have helped us survive senior high school and achieve our successes in life. To our dearest technology and educators who made sufficient efforts in sharing their pearls of wisdom and knowledge with us so that we could learn things that would help us grow into better individuals. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. To our dearest technology and administrators who strive to continuously shape CITU to be a superior learning environment for every technologian. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. To our dearest technologian workers, department staff, security guards, janitors, working scholars, and the like, who we can ask anytime for queries, assisted us with our transactions on-site and online, and worked on these transactions. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. To our dearest friends, who we can lean on and got our backs, may it be in schoolworks, personal struggles, love life, and so on. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. To our dearest parents or guardians, most especially to my ever-supportive Mama and Papa, who incessantly and wholeheartedly supported us in our endeavors, and for their unconditional love and sacrifices. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. And to our dearest selves, for being a fighter since day one, despite facing lots of hurdles in life. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. As we close our respective journals that we made for the senior high school, let us always keep these things in mind. Aim for success for your own fulfillment. Embrace and use your failures to succeed in life. Your unseen motivation will always be in the depths of your hearts. Live your true happiness. To me and my fellow graduates of Batch 2022, a big congratulations, and I wish each of us infinite happiness and individual success in our future endeavors. We can do it, Tech Noise. All hail!